The country of agriculture, the country of Sundarban, the country of the identity of the beautifications of nature under crisis. I'm talking about Bangladesh. At present, the World Bank report regarding the heat wave crisis and the increased rate is creating a massive impact regarding a Bangladesh crisis and also the specifically the Dhaka, because Dhaka is the capital and it counts is one of the world's most heat stress affected country city at present of more than 65% of heat stress. Dhaka at present in the crisis since 1980 to 2025, they have reached more than 1.1 degrees Celsius of rise of heat waves. And this is a massive crisis of million lives. This is a crisis of the agricultural land. This is a crisis of coastal lives. And this is a crisis of Sundarban. We all know the crisis is not new. It about a crisis of more than 4 decades. But this is a time to take immediate actions, immediate measurement of the adaptation policy regarding a country of beautifications of Bangladesh. We all know that the crisis regarding the heat waves is counted as global economical matter and also already affected in global economical loss, and Bangladesh already has lost 1.8 billion of dollar in 2024 for extreme heat waves. How they are facing this kinds of crisis? Because for extreme heat waves, the crisis of 25 million work days has been stopped. And it is a crisis of their daily lives and the resources, their economical development, their productivity, their daily requirements, each and every perspective from the transportations, from to climate issues, from the environment issues, from the resources, from the agriculture, from education, schools were stopped, the complete education system was in the trauma of the heat waves, and this is a crisis. We all know that this year COP30 in Brazil also regarding our discussions of the extreme heat waves and how the country who are actually in the developing countries are facing the crisis of heat waves, how they will measure these kinds of adaptation policy and what should be the upcoming days journey. So today my discussion regarding on the Bangladesh heat wave crisis, and they are actually losing their 0.4% of GDP regarding of 1.8 billion of dollar of heat wave crisis. The health issues, the impact of the health issues was extreme high for heat waves. The agricultural lands, the farmers were in extreme crisis. The coastal areas, the people who are believe in the faith of the coastal lands, who are believe in the Sundarban, they were in the extreme crisis regarding this issue. So the discussion is very important. The discussion about the country who needs to be developed in the upcoming days and who are developing for the upcoming days in the future requirement for the upcoming generations. The first thing is definitely I'm going to discuss about the climate financing strategy and the structure, which is very, very important. When we're talking about the financial structure, when we're talking about the investment for the European Union and the European country regarding on the developing countries issue, regarding on climate issue, that is very important in how much percentage a country required for to survive these kinds of issue and what should be the adaptation policy. We all know that this is the time to maintain a proper structure of stop to deforestation and maintain a afforestation and maintain a planning a proper forest, which is very, very important. Because without forest, without proper maintain of particular genre of regarding of planting of trees, not only a trees, but the particular maintaining a balance of the forest, this will be a bigger crisis for the upcoming days. There's another very important measurement this should be follow in the coastal areas of the Bangladesh. We all know that the sea level rise and the Bangladesh crisis is extreme high because they are not balancing on the sea levels rise and the land of the coastal areas, which is also a down. It's a crisis may come in the bigger crisis of the flood scenario when it become a unusual cloudburst, when it will become an unusual climate disaster like Amphan, Phony, and these kinds of disaster will happen. It become a easy flood situations. So there should be a proper measurement, proper balance on the planning, on the strategy, on the development of particular plantation of mangroves, on the regarding of the coastal areas, which is very important. Also, the preserving of agricultural lands and not using shrimp plantations or extreme fisheries on the agricultural land, on the which is extremely, we all know the salination effect, which is creating a damage of the agricultural land. That should be maintained in a proper balance. On it should come the climate litigations and also the policies. It is very important that we need to reserve, we need to protect our agricultural land, our coastal areas. Also, land belongs to the fisheries and also the mangrove plantations, which also are key areas of the farming of the fisheries and also develop of the particular coastal areas and also land balance at the time of flood scenario. The second thing is the heat wave measurement, which is very, very important because we all know the Southeast global South countries, the Southeastern countries is extreme following the renewable energy sources, which is very much important. The developing of renewable energy sources and the investment on the renewable energy, which is very much important to maintain a proper planning and taking a planning like a China, which is actually planting world's largest solar plantations in the hills, and also India is also are following the same policy on the regarding on the planning on the bigger purpose of the renewable energy sources. Maybe it come in the upcoming days one of the world's largest renewable energy plantations. But same thing should be followed by the Bangladesh government on the regarding of the how to maintain a renewable energy sources, which is very important as specifically on city like Dhaka, which is very much important, which is the city is facing this more than 65% of heat stress, according to the World Bank report. So this is the particular things we need to maintain regarding that. What should be the measurement? What should be the policy on the maintaining a proper heat wave balance, which is very, very important. The second thing is the energy resources, to protect energy resources, which is very, very important regarding there should be a proper balancing on the transportations with the e-vehicles, which is very, very important in Bangladesh. In the transport department, they should maintain a proper balance on the e-vehicles and proper actions or regarding the policy to flow up with the particular going on the e-vehicles, which is very, very on the green energy sources. There should be not using more particular petroleum on the basis on the regarding of the which is maintaining a carbon CO2 emissions. That is very, very important. Another thing is very, very, very crucial to maintain a proper target on the CO2 emissions for the individuality, which is very important. There's regarding when we're talking about the US CO2 emissions from the industrial areas, then it should be a particular credit of the individual persons regarding a CO2 emission, that the country will survive in the CO2 emissions trauma on the regarding on the balance of the heat waves in the upcoming days. So that is very much important. We all know that the rain cycle is also affecting, and it is unusual rainfall. The sometimes it is very heavy, sometimes it is very low, and this is the actual trauma the regarding of the agricultural lands, because the farmers who actually don't know what should be the policy, what should be structured for the upcoming days to maintain a balance with the rains and their lands for the farming. So this is the very important time to discussions when we are talking about very important country on Bangladesh. They are facing the crisis of extreme heat waves in worldwide in a scenario when they have lost more than $1.8 billion in 2024 for the heat waves and the crisis of the heat waves. And this is an extremely important regarding our discussions from the not only on the agriculture, not only on the finance, not only on the health system, it's individual discussions on individual contribution on the particular development for the country and the nations regarding on the climate crisis, regarding on the climate adaptation and mitigation policies. So the first thing is definitely the discussion of the maintaining of the agricultural lands, maintaining a balance sheet of the renewable energy sources, maintaining a balance sheet of the particular mangrove plantations, also the key lifestyle protections on the measurement of the farmers, and also the upcoming days, the country, the areas which actually facing the climate victims, as also the heat wave rise. There should be a proper planning on the particular days on the regarding on the upcoming scenario, that how to maintain their lifestyle also. So this is the time of discussions regarding the Bangladesh crisis regarding in the COP30 Belém, Brazil, which is very, very important on the financing matter, on the economical loss, on the global perspective, when all over the world, more than 100 countries is regarding our discussions of more than $100 billion of the investment of climate traumas on the regarding of the climate financing. There should be invest on the Bangladesh crisis regarding the heat waves, because it is a crisis for the individuality, and they have the resources of the agricultural land. They have the sources of fisheries like Hilsha and the particular impact of the river of Padma, which is very, very important on the regarding of the particular improvement of their financial structure, also the economical balance. So this is very important time to discussions regarding on the COP30 Belém Brazil. This is very time because we know this is regarding of the coastal areas, because Brazil, Amazon, and also the Sundarban is equally parallelly on the same mirror in the different pages. And so this is the time on the different structure, because we are talking about the Belém, which is also a developing city, also the facing the crisis of the climate issues. Same thing. Another perspective should be maintained in the Brazil perspective, on the perspective of the Bangladesh, on the regarding on the how to maintain a balance sheet on the climate crisis, when World Bank giving the strong report regarding the heat stress, regarding the heat wave crisis on the health issues, regarding the heat wave crisis in the financial matter. There should be a particular discussion regarding on the upcoming days and upcoming journal on the Bangladesh development of the financing, regarding the heat stress, regarding the heat waves and the climate crisis. So this is very important time to discussion. That another thing is very important. We need to protect Sundarban. We need to protect the coastal areas. We need to protect the mangroves. We need to protect the particular lands and the islands of the Sundarban, which is very much important to control the floods and sea level rise. So this is the time of discussions regarding the actions, the e-mobile, the particular the e-growth, the growth from the green energy and the renewable energy sources. Thank you.